be around something knowing you want to compete in the role of a general manager or as a manager of somebody or just making an appearance, cutting a promo with someone interrupting you for the sake of using your finisher. In Daniel Bryan's case, it would be the running knee or the S-lock, which was originally the LaBelle lock, changing the name of it. Obviously, Daniel Bryan using that as a tribute to Gene LaBelle, the originator of the hold that Daniel Bryan was using before he changed the name of it to the S-lock. I mean, he's not going to keep coming back to do tributes for Gene LaBelle. So, given his circumstance, knowing that he loves the business as much as what he does, probably oblivious to a lot of wrestling fans, unless you're a diehard Daniel Bryan fan who realizes how much Daniel Bryan loves the business. Putting into perspective for you, he was trained by one of my favorites, Shawn Michaels. I was a fan of Shawn Michaels for the last at least 21 years that I've been following professional wrestling, and for at least the last 12 of 16 years that I've been talking about wrestling and documenting every incident and everything that's gone on in my career as a radio host and columnist. So being a fan of Shawn Michaels and knowing how much Shawn Michaels loved business from 96 especially right up until at least 1998 when he went down with a major back injury, I know how Daniel Bryan is feeling. And is it just me, or is Daniel Bryan a mirror image of Shawn Michaels? If there ever was a mirror image of a legend, then Daniel Bryan is the mirror image of Shawn Michaels. He had to retire the championship because he lost his smile in 1996, 1997, and Daniel Bryan retiring championships because of injuries. So obviously Daniel Bryan was supposed to be the mirror image of Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels was endorsing Daniel Bryan, and it seems like Daniel Bryan's career has gone the exact way of Shawn Michaels' career, and Daniel Bryan's career is an exact duplicate of everything that happened to Shawn Michaels. It's really scary when you really sit down and put it into perspective. You often wonder, I often wonder, I don't know about you, but I often wonder how Shawn Michaels feels about Daniel Bryan. If Shawn Michaels, in fact, believes himself that Daniel Bryan is a mirror image of him. Whatever happened to Shawn Michaels versus Daniel Bryan, or the match we were supposed to see years ago between Bret Hart and Daniel Bryan? Matches that fans wanted so bad that was talked about in wrestling magazines. Even WWE acknowledged what would ever happen if Bret Hart faced Daniel Bryan, who put over Daniel Bryan as one of the best, who's got to be really feeling for Daniel Bryan after putting him over. And the way that he did. Whatever happened to Shawn Michaels versus Daniel Bryan? We'll never forget that handshake between Daniel Bryan and Shawn Michaels when Daniel Bryan put Shawn Michaels, suckered him into the S-lock. I would love, from my point of view, being a big fan of dream matches, would love to see Bret Hart versus Daniel Bryan, but the chances of that happening probably will never happen. But I remember reading the article on the internet about how fans wanted to see Daniel Bryan versus Bret Hart. Now they still do want to see it. And I also remember a vivid documentary on Daniel Bryan's road to success. Now, Daniel Bryan was put over by Bret Hart for being one of the best, so legends have really got to be feeling let down about Daniel Bryan with how much people like Ric Flair and Bret Hart have been endorsing people like Daniel Bryan. But at the end of the day, the ones who are being affected the most because of everything that's gone down with Daniel Bryan having to report on this major injury and go as far as to drop a promo because he was told to on Monday Night Raw recently, addressing the future of himself and the Intercontinental title. Obviously, the ones who are affected the most because of all this unfortunate debacle that we see all the time arising in professional wrestling is Brie Bella. And it makes me wonder what's really going on behind that proverbial closed door. I have so much knowledge when it comes to what's going on behind the proverbial closed door because I have seen what has gone and heard different accounts of what's gone on behind that proverbial closed door. But even with so much that I know about what goes on politically with professional wrestling, which Triple H allows, I have no idea about, which makes me believe even more so than I already have believed that he's a fucking idiot. The thing about politics and professional wrestling is you know so much, but even with how much you know, let me clarify what Triple H said in the ring promo a couple of days before he fought Sting at WrestleMania. With how much you know about politics, yes, you're never going to know everything about professional wrestling politics, but wrestling fans are going to know so much about it. But there's going to be a day where there's always going to be something rising up, coming up all the time about politics. With how much you know about politics, there's going to be so much that you don't know. But it makes me wonder, what's going on politically. All these major injuries happening and all these major injuries resulting in the retirements of some of the best. There is no reason why people like Christian can still be wrestling and people like Edge have to sit on the bench because they can't wrestle anymore. There's no reason why AJ can't wrestle anymore. I wonder what's really going on behind that proverbial closed door. Was Daniel Bryan the one who made the decision to come out and forfeit the title? Did he want to keep wrestling, or did doctors and upper management, these upper executives in WWE, force Daniel Bryan to do what he had to do? He was probably given the boots in the minds of a lot of wrestling fans. Who do we put the blame on? What happened to Daniel Bryan? The people who overworked Daniel Bryan himself? There are a lot of people we could put the blame on for this, but only time will tell if and when we will see Daniel Bryan again. I hold the belief, just as I did we'd see Sting in the WWE ring at some point in his career, I hold the belief that we'll see Daniel Bryan again. Was always a big fan of Daniel Bryan, never really had anything negative to say about someone like a Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan always found ways to entertain us, never had anything negative to say about him, always supported. Daniel Bryan was hoping he was going to get in a WrestleMania main event this year. Obviously, that was not meant to be for Daniel Bryan because people knew that any minute he could go down. If people had more confidence in Daniel Bryan, maybe he would have been the one to main event WrestleMania against Brock Lesnar. Because of that doubt of Daniel Bryan's injury and the uncertainty that went behind it, obviously he was given the Intercontinental title to kind of slow things down. And even when he was given the belt to slow things down, a substance to the World Championship, he kind of screwed up with his injury coming back to haunt him. No matter how much you say you're 100%, this is a proven fact. No matter how much you say you're 100% in professional wrestling, obviously your words come back to haunt you, and you never will be 100%. That's one of the very valuable things that I have learned after documenting wrestling for years. And the one thing that you should take, if you take anything from this video blog this week on our YouTube channel, are two things. One, you're never going to be 100% no matter how much you allow. You're 100% regardless of who you are. I don't care who you are in wrestling. You're never going to be 100% no matter how many times you come out and try to convince us as wrestling fans, because wrestling fans are not stupid. As stupid as what wrestlers and the people of upper executive management in WWE believe us to be. We are smarter than we are ever given credit for. And the other thing that you should take into consideration is that, just as I said about Sting many times, how we would see Sting in a WWE ring, we haven't seen the last of Daniel Bryan, and the WWE Universe will have another chance to shout in unison, yes, yes, yes. That was one of the catchiest chants ever. I have to give you guys credit for going along with Daniel Bryan with the yes gestures, really taking the yes movement in an entirely different direction than probably WWE ever intended for it to go in, because I think that not even them themselves expected Daniel Bryan to blow up the way that he did. I mean, he was one of the more overpowering individuals in wrestling when it came to a crowd response. You just almost indefinitely had to give him the title without question, because at that point in Daniel Bryan's career, by 2013, I would go as far to say as he was more popular than John Cena with the responses he was getting. And in their match at SummerSlam 2013, before Daniel Bryan was fucked over, Daniel Bryan had the crowd in the palm of his hand. I know this because I've seen the match multiple times over. I watched the tape. So I know that Daniel Bryan definitely had the fan response, and he was definitely in a position to take over as their top guy, to give John Cena even more of a reason to go away. Even people like Randy Orton could have gone away, and Daniel Bryan could have carried the company on his shoulders. Even more so now, if he were champion, he could still do it, because Randy Orton isn't champion, and much John Cena, U.S. champion. So it's really unfortunate what happened here, and it's really even more unfortunate how so many people have to suffer. And until Daniel Bryan comes back, this could be the end of Brie Bella. But I want to wish Brie Bella and her sister Nikki the best in their future endeavors if this is the end. I'm not saying that it is the end. I'm just assuming that it's the end. I'm kind of foreshadowing, if you would, is the word I'm searching for, foreshadowing the end of Brie Bella's run with the company and her sister's run with the company, as together known as the Bella Twins. Here's the thing. I'm only foreshadowing it. It may not be what's what, but things are definitely pointing us in the direction that it could be. I guess only time will tell. As I've said many times over the years, time has proven to be the most precious commodity, and it's definitely proven to be more times than enough. But I'm going to leave it up for you guys on YouTube, leave it up to you to tell me what you think in the comments at Jonathan Clarke 22 by tweeting us at Jonathan Clarke 1 with a creative hashtag, and on Facebook at HEW Entertainment is where you can reach me with your opinion on different topics we've thrown up on our YouTube channel. Check this out, over 119 videos streamed this past weekend, which is a huge amount of videos. I think it was the biggest video stream that we had on our YouTube channel since our YouTube channel was revamped in 2009. We revamped our YouTube channel with more exclusive features than ever before. Over 2,000 videos almost have been uploaded, and over 119 videos in one single stream was thrown up on our YouTube channel. So we have one of the biggest streams ever, and it got a huge response, and thank you to everybody over the weekend who put up with our stream. Our biggest stream ever. There are more coming. Where that one came from, can't tell you when, where, and how it's going to go down, but we are going to have bigger streams like that, probably even bigger. But thank you to everybody who put up with that. I experienced, just to give you a little bit of a backdrop of info, I did experience run into a little bit of a technical issue while streaming the YouTube videos this week. I was on Wi-Fi, but the thing was, YouTube was just fucking up on me all the time. I couldn't get certain videos up, but before it all came to an end, before it all came crashing and burning down, I did manage to correct the issue with YouTube, wrote YouTube up a couple of times, didn't get a hold of anybody, got no satisfaction there, so I tried different methods and finally got the last 2 or 3 videos up that presented somewhat of a challenge during the streaming of over 119 videos. I was going to release a couple of status updates to update you on what was going on, and one particular status update, I was going to throw that out on our Facebook page and tweet it out on Twitter, thanking everybody who put up with our technical difficulties this past weekend on YouTube. I can't say that I've ever had an issue with YouTube before. This is one of the first issues they have presented me with since revamping my YouTube channel. I know there are issues with different betas that premiere all the time. YouTube, of course, changing their beta all the time. But I can't ever remember having a technical issue with YouTube. But for some reason, YouTube just didn't want to cooperate with me this weekend. You know, there were several videos that weren't processing, and I took a break, came back a couple of days after, still couldn't do it, and with 1 or 2 days left on the weekend, finally got all those videos up, which have been archived at Jonathan Clarke 22. I want to thank you for your patience as a listener of this show, and I want to thank YouTube in their cooperation with the issue that was presented this past weekend, because I didn't think I was going to be able to pull it through, but because YouTube cooperated with me finally, I was able to complete the stream of over 119 videos. In addition to that, I threw up a lot of new content on our Twitter at Jonathan Clarke 1, and I posted a lot of new content in the way of photos and videos on our Facebook page at HEW Entertainment, which have some new exclusive photos of myself. I was checking out some icebergs this past weekend in Marysvale. They were beautiful icebergs. I didn't realize how beautiful icebergs actually can be until you see them up close, and I got a chance to see some of them up closer than I probably have in my entire life, with credit going out to you guys for providing me with the platform to see it in the way that I did. But they were beautiful icebergs. It was amazing having an opportunity to take some photos of that and photos by them. I posted those photos on my Facebook page at HEW Entertainment. In addition to that, I took some May 24 photos of myself also and threw those up on our Facebook page as well. And photos of me in a leather jacket from a couple of weeks ago when I attended a dance where the lights were obviously on high beam, as you can see there in the photos that I posted on my Facebook page at HEW Entertainment. So we have a lot of new photos posted over there, a lot of exclusive content, but you had to be subscribed to us on social media to get that exclusive content. So what you have to do is go to facebook.com/HEW Entertainment, on Twitter, twitter.com/Jonathan Clarke 1, on YouTube at youtube.com/Jonathan Clarke 22, and on Google Plus at HEW Entertainment. You've got to subscribe. Right now we're up to over 1,500 subscribers on our Facebook page, over 40,000 tweets on Twitter, 56,000